where I've been. In this life there's nothing certain, except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing, I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn. Because one street over there's a life I could have known, would have kept me from what I had today.
Good morning. We're going to interrupt the Reach Top Ramblers and just get on in here. This is 1100 WSGI. I'm U-Turn LaVern. This is One Street Over, and welcome to Friday, y'all. Oh, my goodness. It has been, if you were in here, if you were watching yesterday, a little less chaotic this morning than it was yesterday. My sweet friend Shawn Elmore is in the house. Hello. And you brought with you Rachel Peeples. How are y'all doing?
Wonderful.
Yeah. Yesterday, there was a full band in here. And it was like 6 guys. It's the Maggie Valley Express. They're playing tomorrow night at Murphy's because they're having square dance night, and it's gonna be fun. So the whole gang was in here, and it was just like it was crazy. It was party. But,
I'm loving chaos.
Yeah, I don't function well unless there's a little chaos in my life. I don't think. Isn't that crazy?
I think that's probably the norm. So
yeah, I guess.
So we talk peace, and there's peace and chaos sometimes, though. You know,
true that.
Got peace in your spirit. Yes.
And so, sweet Shawn here, I had always trying, want to talk about the things you have going on. You had the Chili Challenge coming up, and we talked about it as much as, every time I could remember to mention it, because it's such a wonderful thing. And you'll have your big benefit coming up, in the spring, right?
March.
It's March. That's what I thought. And so we want to remind you of all the things going on. And I oftentimes will just, people come to me because now I'm teaching, and what are we going to do to fix our schools? It's like, well, you can't fix your schools till you fix your families.
Yeah. Wow.
And you can't. You just can't. We're dealing with, I know a lot of people saw my post I put up last night, and it's not that I'm ready to give it up. It's just a frustration that's there because they've not been taught to care. And y'all deal with this too.
Yeah.
I had this epiphany while I was sitting and getting my hair done over at Sweet Penny's at the gallery. And I said, I can't give them more. I can't make them take what I'm wanting to give. I can only give them what they will take.
Yeah.
And I can't make them care, but at the end of the day, I can show them what caring looks like.
That's it. That's all you can do.
That's all I can do.
Yeah.
And so, I just had one of them days yesterday, just one of them days. And so, as I draw on that and think about that, something I have said about what you do through Open Door is something that it came to a realization. You were talking about that picture that's up of me. That's from when I was on the campaign trail. And I was down in Mexico the year I ran for Congress. And I was down there and I was like, why can we not do this in our country? What we're doing down there? Because we go in and we bring in the medical clinic and the love to try to change the community from the inside out. Right. And I think that was when it really hit me. And I was like, we got to change the community from the inside out. And I'm like, well, Open Door Pregnancy is doing that and resourcing. And that's truly, that's why I tell people when they start going, what can we do to fix the schools? I'm like, have you been to Open Door? Do you know about CASA? Do you know about the Isaiah 117? All these amazing nonprofits
Absolutely.
that are literally changing our families from the inside out.
What we say is we want to change them, one family, one person, just invest in that person, one person at a time, but it's changing the culture of that family.
Yes.
A lot of times we don't understand, I've said this to Rachel so many times, and we've had conversations of, you can't teach a lost person to act saved. And so you love them well. And they see, I had a guy call me and say, you love my family, how you're generous or whatever. Cause we did something for his family, basically, just basic needs of food or clothing, whatever. And, he called me from rehab and he's telling me this and I'm just crying. Cause I'm thinking, we just did what we should have done and love you well, you know? And so probably on every meeting that we have, I'm like, go love somebody well today, you know? And that's probably something that God's really instilled in me. And that's how I think you change people. You know, you got to have some really good boundaries. You know, we have to set boundaries. I want to introduce Rachel. Rachel's our family services coordinator. So she works with a lot of our court cases and DCS cases. And, you know, some folks don't want to be in our place. I mean, I know you've seen our video when one of our girls, and I call her my Heather, she's my girl, but she told Judge Stark point blank in the courtroom, standing in front of Judge Stark, when Judge Stark ordered her to do services at Open Door and do parenting, she said, hell no. She said, hell no, I will not go there. And she did make it. And I think that it kind of has impacted her life. We are celebrating 15 years. So you've seen our campaign of birthiversary. Yeah. So we're celebrating 15 years and loving people well, I feel like, you know, and setting boundaries. And not everybody loves us because we have to do things. Sometimes, you know, there are some things that are in play that we have to do. But Rachel came to be with us about 4 years now, 5, going on 5?
Going on 4, I think.
Going on 4. I feel like it's been forever. So I always joke about Penny being my right brain. She's my left brain. Then, you know, we've got Kinsey that's my right hand. And, you know, there's all these different different folks. But, you know, today, you know, it's a celebration of just loving people well in our community, changing their family culture, you know, one moment at a time. And it's a very slow process. We talked about this, like that spirit of breakthrough. Rachel said, I love when they get breakthrough and they see something different. You know, we showed a video to a girl, a woman that has the little one, and she's in her probably mid-30s, and she looked at Kinsey and she said, I've been waiting for this video my entire life. And she actually got online, got the book series, and did the book process and by herself, just because she just felt it impacted her so much. So, you know, people talk about just, you know, what we do in parenting, and the basic parenting is showing that person how to bathe their kid and change a diaper.
Right.
It goes so far beyond that. We're seeing layers and layers of folks that have been, you know, steeped in trauma all their life. And so now it's pouring out on their kids. And then we're educating and getting them help and counseling. And so I can't wait to tell you all the services that we've implemented in the last, you know, couple of years, but how they're now streamlining for just better life, better culture of that family. So
I love it. I love it. And when I call you, don't ever hesitate to say, I'm just too busy, LaVern, because I know you're doing the work.
This is usually a good time if I have somebody to help me with Mimi. So
there you go. That's true. Yeah. That's true.
When Daddy's at home, it helps. Yeah.
There you go. But so I just want to get an update. So I want to hear about the services and stuff, but I do want to hear, how did the Chili Challenge go?
Woo!
Woo! I need the update, because I didn't get all the info.
Springfield Fire was the overall winner, which it cracked us up. We were like, oh my gosh! Again, they won a couple of years ago, and they brought that big trophy back, and so they'll present.
She has a connection to the fire.
But it's, you know, somebody said something about our judging. I said, well, it's volunteer. They're blind judging. I think. Did you judge last year?
I did not.
Okay,
I'm not a big chili eater.
I think that's why. Yeah. But you helped me. You helped me MC and stuff. Yeah.
I went around and got some video for for Devin. You know, so put some stuff up.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm thrilled but I'm not a big chili.
Yeah. So we have lots of soup. Yeah. We had I had somebody tell me the best pot in the house was a potato soup that I think the LeBorgs made. Okay. So we have just an incredible community, and I just cannot thank our community enough for their support, and they're loving us well to love others. I mean, if it wasn't for our community, we could not love these folks that walk in our door that are, you know, homeless and you know, don't have food, don't have basic needs in their life, and then just that emotional toll. It's just amazing. But the Chili Challenge, you know, we joked about, it started at the fairgrounds. I think we were there just 1 year because we blew it out there. Then we went to Greenbrier High School. Coach Charles was so gracious to let us be there in the I guess in the front entry commons area. Yeah, commons, yes. And then I think we lasted there 3 or 4 years, and it's been at the center ever since. And you know, this year I think it might have been the biggest. It was the biggest crowd that we've ever had.
It was packed.
I think a couple of people just said, Shawn, we love you. We paid our entry fee. We love you, but we had to leave because we were so overwhelmed. But then we had other people that were just like, man, this is amazing. I saw people turned around to say hello to them because somebody called my name, and then they were gone because it was just such a big crowd. Yeah. But we made financially more than we've ever made before. Our numbers actually doubled financially. So it's just a beautiful
amazing.
blessing there. We have a lot of work to do in this community. And so we need those blessings. We have no government funds. We don't take anything like that. We occasionally do some private grants, which we were awarded a private grant this year, which is amazing. So it'll go into some of our services. But we are definitely just thrilled with the community. We just could not thank everyone enough. Just kind of blown. Our staff was even blown away. We knew going in when Penny goes, "Hey, we're at 50 pots of chili," and it was like 3 weeks out. I was like, "Oh wow," because usually we're about 54 pots is what we usually have, and we had 60. We had 63 on the books, but when we actually went around the room, there were 65 because people had brought extra. So we were scurrying to get people. So it was hilarious because she goes, "Okay, we've officially had 65 pots of chili, and so it's the biggest chili pot ever," and everybody
was just really excited about it because everybody really got into dressing up and decorating, and it just there seemed to be kind of excitement.
We had our theme was birth anniversary, so we wanted all the participants to leave their decorations for us. We're going to put them in a bag, or they could just grab a couple extra, because there are children out there that we see on a weekly basis that do not get a birthday party. Their parents just really, that's probably on the bottom of the list. And so, that was one of the things. We had a supervised visit, and we told, this parent that they could bring whatever, they could decorate or whatever, and they just really didn't have the resources. And so we've had some stuff, and we've had this, a mom that could do that, but to watch those kids interact and as they're reintegrating with that family, that parent or whatever, and they got to have a birthday party, I was like, this is it. And so when we did the celebration, and we'll continue with the celebration this year, but we just said, let's give back to these kiddos and these parents that really, need. And that's something very small and insignificant for maybe somebody who's always had a birthday party. You're not going to understand that need. But these are kids who need to be celebrated. Their lives deserve to be celebrated. And so we could not count how many. We were joking about the fact that we had to take some over to our connecting company location because we could not house everything we had. We're gonna post it actually on Facebook, but that we had so many. We had to actually split some kits because we had enough to do that. It was so overwhelming. Our community is such. It's just amazing.
Just give and give.
Just give and give. And so the Chili Challenge is something that I think when you walk in the room, and this is a palpable joy that you can feel. People are excited to be there. Families, we had, of course, Tim Palmore was our DJ, and we had a great time.
It was fun.
When he popped the poppers, I cracked up laughing and went, "Oh, that's going to be a mess to clean up." Oh well. But we had Elsa and the kids when she made the ice and did her hand, and this little girl goes, "Oh, it's the real Elsa! She made ice!" So it was amazing to see the kids dancing, and the families and the older folks that got up and danced. Mayor Snyder Williams, I think. Is it Williams?
Yes.
Yeah.
She's on her honeymoon.
I've always known Anna's, Schneider. Yeah. So she was out there dancing. Somebody goes, "Our mayor's even out there." I said, "Yes." And she hustled on out there. So we just appreciated that support, and everybody had a great time. And we kind of went in and just, it was great. As a staff, I don't think
I think it was great because this fundraiser is different because everybody gets to be involved in the fundraiser. It's not, I'm going to sit and watch the video and eat a meal. So they got to have a party and got to bring, show off their cooking skills. And I think that's what everybody gets excited about it. So
I think
it's a competition. Cool. So
Mark and I, we're both like, we've got it. We want to enter it eventually. We're just so busy with our teaching certifications and stuff. We're just like, teachers. Because we've just got a lot of T's to cross and I's to dot as we're in the early stages of becoming teachers.
Yeah. Next year for sure, I told Timaeus we're going to have to cap some things. We want to make sure that we have premium spots for people. I think there was one table that got kind of shoved in the corner, and we had to bring them out. And we literally had to make what we call bullpens because we had so many entrants. Right. So we want to make sure that we serve our folks well that want to come. And so I told Timaeus, I said, "I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened, but when you start you can't set the room different, but we love and then somebody goes, 'Oh, don't worry about it. We're just here to have a good time. We're here for charity.'" And I said, "Okay."
Yeah. So, I don't think anybody would, because I mean, and I got the Hope Center guys were there.
Oh yeah, we love the Hope Center guys.
Oh my gosh,
they're our boys.
Yes,
they're our boys.
Well, see, we see them at Epiphany for Celebrate Recovery. And so I came walking in, they're like, hey,
Yep.
and
They work so hard. We were talking, my volunteers, our volunteers, but we were talking about how a couple of them just ran with it. And they're like, we don't need to do anything. Look at these guys. And they were amazing.
Yeah, there was Philip was one of the guys helping with the drink station, and we kept trying to. You want to go get some chili? You want to get a hot dog? And he's
ready to work.
Stayed there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He as soon as a drink was picked up, he replaced it immediately. So other ladies were just standing there and.
They fell in love with them. They understood why we love them so much as a staff. I don't know if you know our relationship, but the Hope Center guys, Stephen and Joe was actually in the program. And so I just love Joe. And so my husband and I were in Walmart and we got to talking, and it was just like this immediate love for these, the boys is what you call them. But, I know some say Hope guys, but I'm like, no, they're our boys. I mean, it's a term of endearment for us. And so, but when they started helping us, they moved, my husband had a truck and trailer, and we had, I think, one other one. They moved us in about 4 loads and filled up the entire new space, and they were amazing then. And so I just really, you get to know these guys and and they always go, oh Lord, she's going to ask us our story or where we're at. And so I get very personal with them. And, Aaron and Muffler, they entered the competition. And so that was fun to see them kind of engage in that. And I think they had a great time. And so we love that ministry. We partner with them. It's one of the places that Open Door feels very, because, a lot of fatherless homes. And so we're saying impact the fathers. If you look at, statistically where the fathers are, in the jails and things, and you see what these children are going through. So it's like 94 or 96%. Or fatherless homes. And so then you go in and you see those statistics in those settings, in the prison system, in the jail and things like that. So you want to impact these fathers so they can impact their homes. And so we want to undergird them.
They're essentially doing the same thing that we're doing. It's a rehab of the family.
Oh, yeah.
It starts in the home. It starts with the parents and, like we're saying, changing the culture. You got to start somewhere. And unfortunately, sometimes it requires being kind of forced into that situation where you just don't have a choice and you're sent there, or if you want to get better, you have to go there. So,
well, and it's working with the recovery court and all of those things too. And they all I see the same people.
Yeah.
'Cause, I'm on the board with the recovery court. And so the people who I see through that, I see through Open Door, I see through the Hope Center.
It's layered. It's just such a beautiful layer.
Yes, it is.
Team effort.
Of team. Yeah.
Yes.
We love Recovery Court. We love the girls and Joel. And we have a lot of clients.
From them.
We go.
Oh, yeah.
I missed the graduation this time because I had something else going on, but Rachel and Kenzie got to go and celebrate some of our, see the fruit.
Oh, it's incredible.
When they just, we started taking pictures at Open Door on your first visit, and then we have a graduation visit. And to see it's almost like the metamorphosis of that butterfly. It's the most beautiful thing sometimes that you just go, that is not the same person. And so it's a beautiful thing to see that. At the Hope Center banquet, the guys put the pictures on the table, and I was like, man, look at these boys standing up here. They're you're impacting them when you give and to that ministry as well. So somebody asked me one day or said, I'm so sorry I had to give to, I remember it was Home Safe in the very beginning of Open Door, and we gave to Home Safe this time. I said, listen, Daddy owns all the cattle on all the hills, and Daddy's going to take care of us.
You better believe it.
And so we still have that today. We appreciate every penny, and Daddy does have us. And when we do a project, or when we do the Chili Challenge, or when we do our fundraiser, our big banquet, we're doing it for the audience of one. And the girl, we had a prayer time where we went through and prayed over every chair, the stage, everywhere. And so we just want to have that beautiful foundation of what God's doing and be a part of what He's doing and get in the flow of the river of the Holy Spirit and not struggle against it, I think is what I always, that's my visual for myself.
I love it. I knew we'd be able to fill up an hour really easily. And if Gwen, if you're out there listening, you don't have to come in unless you just want to. But sometimes Gwen's like, well, y'all got a full house, so I'm just going to stay back. So I don't know. Gwen may pop in here. She's my co-host on Fridays.
We can scoot over.
Absolutely, we can. So if she wants to come in, but we're going to pause and we're going to do a break. We're going to, you know what? We're going to start with Corbin Creek this morning. I love my friends Corbin. Corbin Creek Greenhouse Gifts and Gardening Center. Miss Jane Corbin sent me a sweet little message last night, knowing that I was feeling like a weary teacher. And just that encouragement. She's so precious. She's just the most precious. I love that family so much. I love talking to Amy and Miss Jane.
Wonderful.
They are. And in the community, you need anything and they're there. They're pouring into it. You'll see. It's the sampler, Christmas sampler today and tomorrow up at the center. So you're going to see the Corbins out there. Now they're not going to have a booth because she's part of the production of that, raising the money for the center. So you want to definitely get out to the Christmas sampler this weekend and you'll see them. But you want to go and see them out at 4920 Highway 161. That's where the garden center is located. If you're a newbie to town, that's where you need to go for all you things. I love talking to Brian Pooley. He was telling me about this palm that he had gotten there that he keeps bringing in and how beautiful it is. I'm going to get me one of them next year. And this is the time to get your garden ready for spring. Amy sent me a message the other day because I keep telling everybody to pray for Amy because she hates winter. She hates it so bad. And she goes, I'm done with winter. Spring's coming. And I'm sure, but there's so many things that you need to do in the meantime. You need to get your garden ready. You need to go and talk to her about what are you going to plant, when you're going to plant it, because mid-February, that's the time you put the cool weather vegetables in the ground. Perennials, now's the time to get your perennials in the ground. We're going to be in the 70s again on Sunday, I think. And so you can go and get some planting done. And so you'll have that beautiful, beautiful surprise in the spring when you plant your perennials. Now they'll come back year after year. And again, I keep seeing these dead mums on your porch. If you'll keep them watered, they're perennials. Plant them and they'll come back, y'all. Mums are perennials. Go into the gift store, get some great things for the holidays coming up. It's time to start buying getting your gifting done. CBD products that from pain salves, headache salves, to bug salve, to the oils that I use for arthritis, to all the things infused with the CBD that's Robertson County CBD, and of course handcrafted items from Miss Jane. It's fun. Go in there and talk to them today. They're on winter hours, 10 to 4, Monday through Saturday, and then 1 to 4 on Sunday. And please always let them know that U-Turn sent you. We are continuing our conversation. We've got Rachel Peeples and Shawn Elmore in the house from Open Door Pregnancy and Resource Center and all the things. So you were teasing, you kind of at the first of it, you said, I can't wait to tell you about all the services we've implemented. So unpack it for us.
Ooh, where do we start? It's been a beautiful year, I think. So we've had like a pipe dream, and we keep having a dream board, and it just keeps growing. It feels like, sometimes you look at things and you're like, hey, we really need to have those services because they're not anywhere. And so then you think, oh, well, is that really for us? And then you go back and forth. Well, and then and we just say, okay, let's pray about it and leave it in God's hands. And then God starts bringing things into fruition. Mm-hmm. So, this year, let's see, we've brought on a counselor in the last couple of years, but she's Kristen. Kristen Piva House sees folks on Friday for us. So we have a lot of the counseling services that she was already doing, and she kind of packed herself out. So we needed additional services. Mm-hmm. We've been wanting to do some things that aren't typical, for our area that folks need. You can't find a lot of services. So we partner a lot with people, but we do have now a therapist that has joined us. Her name's Laura Gebhardt. So she's doing parenting assessments. She's doing mental health assessments. She can do drug and alcohol assessments. She's doing anger management. So we started that class about 3 or 4 weeks ago now. We'll have rotating classes there. That's a huge need in our community. A lot of court ordered things like that. It's 12 weeks. So you don't just do 4 weeks and be done. It's very in depth. She's doing therapeutic supervised visits with us. So we do supervised visitation at the Meadowbrook location. And so then she'll do therapeutic supervised visits. She's doing family therapy. We're starting family therapy with 4 families, I think, this month. So three or 4 families. So it's beautiful that these services are not typical, in our area. We just don't have the services, and she's able to help us for her season that she's with Open Door. So we're excited about that. Lots of other things. We do have a mobile unit that we've been praying about, and it's set
the update.
Yeah, it's been one of those things. I think we've had some setbacks, and then we had just a prayer time. We went and picked it up from an entity, and just our heart was broken because it just wasn't what I know that God said it was supposed to be, and you've seen our building, so you know when I say, well, this is what the Lord said. It's supposed to be, changed and rearranged. And so we sat back and just prayed about it and contacted a friend of mine said, what about the deans at Dynamic Collision? And so we contacted them and they came out. And so it is under construction. It has been completely gutted. And there's some things that are going on with it. I think it was being wrapped last week. I approved the wrap.
Oh, wow.
And so this is Open Door on Wheels, and it's going to have a lot of different helps involved in this. It's not just a typical unit, I think, but we're in such a rural community. We've got invitations for outlying areas outside of even just across our border in Robertson County, Cheatham County, things like that, because Cheatham County's asked us to kind of expand services over there for years. And we don't have the capacity to do that inside our walls, but they definitely need it. And so this is a way to reach that and expand the cords of our tent. So we'll be able to do that. So we'll have an unveiling. I'm sure that you're going to see it around. We're going to use it for, mamas and babies. And I told somebody, I said, I can't wait. We're going to have baby changing stations and nursing stations. And if somebody needs to come in and get cool, but that's one of the things that we want to do is make sure we implement this well.
That's so cool. I love it. So now, where are we as far as the ultrasounds and all of that?
Well,
that's been a long time dream.
Yeah, long time dream. Still dreaming.
Okay.
We are in the process. We did hire a nurse this year. I forgot to tell about Jana. So we hired a nurse this year. She is doing education, so we call her a nurse educator right now. But she's doing our education piece at Open Door. So she's working with our mamas and babies and just new families. But right now, we are searching high and low for a physician that would want to come on board and be our medical director. And then also we need a nurse manager, so something that's kind of a part-time gig for the nurse. But the physician is just somebody that will have access to validate, and things like that on these pregnancies. But the scans, there'll be a huge training and things like that. So that is definitely something. That's what we want to put on the mobile unit as well. Yeah, and hopefully have one in-house. Just to be honest, we were approved for both, and then some funding fell through, and so we decided, you know what, maybe it's our job to get that done. And so we're looking for other avenues, but we have to be very careful who we partner with. And so we're looking at moving forward.
You're talking, that's absolute medical care.
It is.
You have there's so many T's to cross and I's to dot talking about that with education.
And ultimately it's God's timing.
You better believe it. And you can't question that.
Right.
Because when it's God, you can't stop it, and if it's not time, you can't make it happen.
That's right.
You have
Amen.
To be still. Just be still.
And that's where we're at.
It's like, and it's like
we're in the waiting. Our lamps are lit.
Yes.
And we're waiting. I think that's probably the best way I can put that.
I love it. Talking with Shawn Elmore. We're talking with Rachel Peeples, and they are with Open Door Pregnancy and Resource Center. Give everybody the address in case they don't know where it is.
So our main location is located at 1109 South Main in Springfield, right down from the depot and across from Apothecary at the Y. So on the right there. I was going to say born and raised, and I knew that wasn't right. Yeah. So we're right there, and then we do our other some of our counseling services and whatnot. Our therapeutic services will be out of the Meadowbrook location.
Okay, very good. And we do need to pause and take another break. We've got just a couple of more weeks of racing. If you want to get out to the races, the weather's going to warm up a bit this weekend, and so you can get out to the old Highland Rim Speedways where we're talking about. Go out and show them some love. They're going to have a great time this weekend, and it is going to be good. At Veterans Motorplex, this is 6801 Kelly Willis Road in Greenbrier. Racing this weekend will start at 6 p.m. Gates will open at 4 for those that are coming out to watch. And remember, it's just the best deal in town. You can spend $40 and you can get a family of 8 in, up to 6 kids and 2 adults for $40. And it is a good time. They got a great concession stand. A couple of my students are working in the concession stand. I tease them all the time about, you got to work this weekend? Yes, Ms. Vivio. But they love it. And it's a chance for them to have their first job. And I love that Jerry does so much in the community. It is just a great event. If you've not been to the races lately, you don't know what you're missing. And they just love on the community. It's a family-friendly place. There's no alcohol served there, which is pretty uncommon when it comes to racing. So if you want to go to a place, you don't even have to deal with that. That's what you're going to find at Veterans Motorplex. You can give Jerry a call if you have some questions, 615-643-8725, 615-643-8725. But 2 more weekends. So this Saturday, tomorrow night, and then next Saturday, and then racing's done until March. So you got to get on out there and have some fun at Veterans Motorplex and make sure and get through there and make sure and tell them that U-Turn sent you and thank them for being a sponsor here at One Street Over. We're looking for some sponsors, by the way. As Jerry drops off the schedule for the winter, we'll have some spots available, and got just a few little spots available. If you're interested in picking up advertising here on One Street Over, just reach out to me and let me know, and we can talk. Talking with Shawn Elmore and talking with Rachel Peeples. What can we talk about next? Do you want to kind of tease people and give them the save the date for the dinner? And do you have any of that firmed up yet as far as what's going on with the dinner?
We have, we don't. We're working on that. That's always in process. Yeah, it's 6 months out, and so we've already started on that. We started on it probably about 2 months ago, and so we pray about it and figure out what scripture God wants us to have and that kind of thing. We've already talked to Barry about doing our video. So we've
Barry
got
Richards. We'll be doing
Barry
his ad in a
Richards.
minute.
Yes, right. He's our famous buddy. We love him. He's incredible to work with.
He is.
And his team, Catherine and it's just they're so professional. They're just wonderful. So we'll do our video in January, and we've got some people that we're looking at on there. We're like, okay, so you know. I feel like, we want to make sure we always capture some of those stories that, you know, those folks just, wow, you know, their lives have changed and been impacted. And, you know, it's like I said, the community allows us to do this, you know. So right now, we've worked on that. We got a grant from Stokes Brown. And so that's going to help with some of our services. And it's a direct impact to families. So that's been a beautiful blessing for this year. So we're just pushing right along. You know, our numbers, when we were at the little house, we would run, monthly, numbers, and, our numbers would be 65, 85. And that's pretty much what we could handle in that space. And, we're running pretty max capacity. I'm looking at Rachel and we're like, whoo, right now we're about 225 a month.
Wow.
And that's not always including like supervised visitation and things like that. So we hired Brooklyn, she's our care coordinator. She's a social worker. Stacy with Epic Girl had to leave us because she went full time with Epic Girl. So we love her, and she's one of our dear friends. And we still allow her to use space at Connecting Company on Meadowbrook. Right. But we're still partnered with her. She's just going full time with them, and they're doing great as well. So we want to give them a shout out, and they're doing incredible things with at-risk teens. But I don't know, Rach, how do you feel about what today looks like? Because, I mean, even, we're packed out. So we're looking at having to expand hours and things like that for 2024. We do have some services now that we do have a small nominal fee for. But, when you have a third party that's doing therapeutic stuff, you got to pay her what her fees are. But her fees are incredibly discounted for us, which is a beautiful blessing. And then, we're doing co-parenting through the courts a lot of times and things like that. So there's going to be some fees involved with just some of these outlying small nominal fees. But, it's really kind of you look at the family dynamic, and there's always pieces of that pie missing. And I feel like sometimes we can, with our services, we're able to help fill in those gaps. And that's where I think our staff is just incredible. There's just nobody like them. We're a family. So.
For sure. And you get that feel as soon as you walk in there. I guess maybe it was, maybe it was Mayor Vogel was saying something about it. Have you been in there and seen that little store they have? And I love Mayor Vogel.
I told one of my board members, I said, we're going to have to hire somebody as a boutique manager.
Yeah. Tell them about the boutique in case, because that's one thing is we're sitting here and we have time. There's a lot of new people in town that don't know about y'all and don't know how this started and your story. So in 2008, you opened saying we want to give somebody a safe place to come and have to make a hard decision about their pregnancy. And, it's just like you just want to give somebody that place to breathe. I think that's probably the easiest way to say that. And then you realize we're in a community and you literally have so many needs that are connected to that one little life that
that came out, so we became the John 10:10 ministry. So when the enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy, that the Lord wants to give us life and life abundant. And so we want to see that abundant life. We just, there's so many places and so many people don't even understand that, and they want to talk about being pro-choice and pro-life and all this. And I just look at them and say, we're pro-hope. We're pro-hope, pro-love, pro-mercy, pro-grace, and pro-compassion, because, when you look at that person that is struggling and they may be addicted or homeless or, literally just maybe not even that. Maybe they're just having a really hard time and they have a little one and, they've made a choice for life. And so we just want to undergird that and help them. And so that's kind of, when we got started, there were little things that we would be building into. And now 15 years later, you see, wow, seeing that person with that mental health is so poor. And you give them, you have a donor that says, here is, $10,000 to go towards your counseling services. And we have we have 2 counselors that are wonderful and partner with us at incredible discounts. So we can get, 5, 10, sessions. And then you see that person get it and blossom, and that counseling works. So mental health right now in our country, I was telling somebody this, I said, it's at an all-time, probably, especially coming out of COVID. I mean, it's just been, mental health has been such a barrier. And so then, you see those families that just don't know what they don't know. When you may show a mother how to change a diaper, but, how do you swaddle your baby, or how do you give eye-to-eye contact? And those are things that we've really found that you're really building that relationship with your kiddo. Because one of the things that we'll say is, that family will have to build trust. So Rachel is really good with helping our Rachel, our team. This team is Rachel, Kinsey. Now it's Brooklyn. And then, Miss Erica does our Hispanic population, and Jenny was actually one of our clients, and now she works for us. So it's just a beautiful full circle with her. And when you see her with folks, when you see Jenny with folks, it's incredible to watch her, because she came through the program. And so seeing her connect and work with folks that are just, it's amazing. But, when you see those wraparound services that we're seeing right now, I think it's changing that culture of their family. And then when we see these graduations, and we've got several we're going to graduate pretty soon. So, but we don't just say, well, here's 12 weeks of parenting, because that's not, when we have somebody with 4 kids, how do you give them 12 weeks and say, okay, now off you go. But we look at them very dynamically and individually. And so it's a lot of time.
Well, and I would say it's because, a lot of these people, their parenting was built off of what they know, or the type of parenting or lack thereof, so, that's years in the making. So to say, we're going to have this fixed in 8-12 weeks is kind of unrealistic. I mean, I'm not saying that you can't, gain some, decent knowledge, but, I always tell people we invest in our clients. We're different from other places, because it's not like we're just trying to get people in and out. We want to see a whole life change. And I think that's why we're doing a lot of other services, because we want to make sure that, we're helping a whole person and not just one area of their lives. So, and even if we don't offer it, that's why I think it's so big to be involved in the community, is because we know other people and everybody wants to partner with each other. And I think that is so beneficial and helpful for our clients, so that we can say, okay, well, we don't have that service, but here's a phone number. These are people that you can reach out to. They help with that, and give them something, don't let them leave the building without a phone number, without a connection somewhere else. So I know where I was previously, that was kind of a big thing, because I was answering phones there, and I had this book that just had a bunch of phone numbers to different places in the community, and that just kind of still has stuck with me, to make sure that they don't leave that building without some other kind of phone number if they need it. But I think we're really trying to kind of be that one-stop shop in a lot of ways, so that we can help people in a bigger picture way. I mean, it's kind of blown up beyond just a pregnancy center.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's why the resource center came into the name. Yeah.
So,
but I tell you, this is a good place to pause. We're going to do another break, and let's just go ahead and talk about Barry and Rebecca Richards with the Exit Realty Garden Gate team. It's so funny, because Barry is just an expert at this video stuff, and he was the vice president of a media marketing company for 17 plus years in Nashville. He's helped me so much with my audio video program. He has said, I haven't gotten all these things organized yet, but you know Tommy Marsh? the blues guy that's in town that's just been here a few years from California. He's amazing. You need to, I guarantee you, y'all need to do. He needs to come next time and maybe play some music. He's like, sure, but he's an amazing musician. But he's got an original song that is perfect for us to do as a music video at the school. And I don't know how to do that. But I told Barry, I said, you know how? Can you come help? And he was like, sure. But that's the kind of people, that's the kind of person. Yeah, that's him and Rebecca both. You ask
amazing
them,
people.
Yeah. And you say, can you help with that? Sure. I mean, community driven. They're up in Cross Plains. Have been there 27 plus years, probably 28 years now. I've been saying that for a while. But they're just giving in the community constantly. And you will find their banners up where they're sponsoring this and that. And you'll see them out and about doing videos for things like Open Door and doing all the things. And they're perfect to help you in the real estate market, whether you're buying or selling, whatever it is. And Barry, wants to remind everybody, they're separate brokers, though. They help each other, but he's the broker here in Springfield. And you can go up and see him on the square. Rebecca's the broker out in White House. The number for her, if you want to give her a call, is 615-504-7425, 615-504-7425. Easy way to find them is just Google them, and you will find each one of them with a unique web page. Barry Richards, Exit Realty, Rebecca Richards, Exit Realty, and you will find their unique web pages. You'll also find a Facebook page for Rebecca, and it'll have places for you to start your search, tell more about them. There's some stuff on there about doing the marketing for your property in the background that Barry has. They're just the one-stop for everything you need for real estate. They specialize in Robertson County properties, but also buy and sell in the surrounding counties and across the state line in Kentucky. And if you want to contact them, go to sellwithbecky.com, sellwithbecky.com, buy, B-U-I, robertsoncounty.com, or, just Google them. Tell them you trying to send you. I want to know next, in regards to what's going on, what do you guys need from the community? There's been times I've brought clothes and stuff. I've still probably got a little stash of some clothes for kiddos. Do you need clothes? Do you need things for Christmas? How's all that working? Are you doing angel tree? What's happening with that part of it?
We are partnering with a local. I don't think they want to be mentioned, so I won't mention them. Okay. We have a few families that we've partnered with, but we've asked to wrap around the services of that family. So we've asked to help with basic needs, so toilet paper, toiletries. I mean, we've asked a few. We have a few families that really need that kind of service. And then we're partnering with Kiwanis for Kids.
That's what I thought.
We are now sending everyone there, and I think it's going out today. We'll be one of the host places where people can stop and fill out applications and things like that. So we've said, let's partner and we'll donate our staff time to get those in, because we see such a need at Christmas, and we're that place that people call on Christmas Eve. I mean, I can't tell you the years that we've said, we've got a call. Do you know where we can call? Well, we just happen to have a stash, because we've seen it over and over again. Yeah. And then I have certain donors that have said, okay, if you need something, and I'll call them and say, we need, size 16 boys pants and shirts and, basketballs or whatever, and give them a list, and we'll have it within hours. And so, when you see that kind of love pour in, and these people will never meet these children, they'll never understand this single mom that doesn't have her electric bill paid, and we've done everything. And so, we'll send them to a local church or something like that, that we're seeing so many great things. But yes, we always have needs. Our greatest need always is going to be size 4, 5, and 6 diapers. We cannot keep them in stock. I joked and said I need to order a pallet, but you really can't do that unless you're part of a diaper bank, and it's very expensive.
Right.
And they don't always ship this way. So Amazon is wonderful. If you want to Amazon us some diapers, we don't always get the little ticket. We wonder where they come. We call them diaper fairies. So if you want to be a diaper fairy, we're actually wanting to start a campaign for that, and just
diaper fairy. I love it.
So we're wanting to start a campaign and say, send us diapers every month. Just get on there and do a reoccurring. We've tried to do the Amazon wish list and all that stuff, but everything that's taken off is so fast, you just can't keep up with it.
Right.
So the major thing is formula, diapers, and baby wash. We laugh about the fact that we go through more baby wash and lotion. Like, we'll have a big, we'll have somebody do, VBS and stock it and within about 6 months it's gone. Baby wipes are huge. We had a really big influx this summer, and now we're down to probably about a month's worth. So we'll need to, we just run campaigns all the time. So our Facebook page is one place that you can get that. But, you know, financial blessings and donations and funds are always needed. You know, we have to keep our lights on, and we always talk about the fact that, you know, I had somebody go, well, what are your administrative costs? And I smiled and I said, we don't have any. They're ministry costs, because every dime that goes into Rachel being there, it goes straight back into somebody's life. She gets to sit eye to eye with somebody that's in a complete crisis. Jana, we have walk-ins after walk-ins, you know. We have so many pregnancy tests now. The health department no longer does pregnancy tests for illegal, somebody that's not here legally in the country. And so now, oh yes. So they called and gave us a heads up, and they said, hey, we're going to stop this service, blah, blah, blah. And so now we have gone through about, I would say, almost 200 pregnancy tests since this summer.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
When did that happen and why?
There's something going on. They're trying to get it reconciled. We went to a big thing with the state of Tennessee, and I talked to the lady directly and said, man, we had people, literally, we had probably like 6 people on our door at one time.
That's
and
incredible.
And our lady said, we cannot do it. So we have to schedule appointments now, because we can't, walk-ins, sometimes we can handle a walk-in. It depends on what we're doing. But I mean, the influx that we've had is unreal. Wow. Of course, they can't go you know, there's so much, but we partner with Northcrest. We love Northcrest. We're so excited. They're delivering babies again. And we have, you know, that we have physicians there, and their staff is fabulous. So we want to, you know, we're loving the partnerships in our community. So health department is wonderful. We partner with them, but that's one of the things. The WIC department, you know, we get calls and go back and forth. We have people that have urgent needs. So one of the things that people always ask me, I'm like, if you could do a Walmart gift card, you know, those are wonderful, because I can go out there with our tax exempt, send one of my staff members, and we can go, hey, Penny, run out there and get, you know, Nutramigen formula, because it's very hard to come by, or Alimentum. These, you know, $40 a can, $38 something dollars is insane. And so, and we have one little boy that, Dr. Wilson has worked with them. We love VIP, but this family has literally, this baby, every time you look at him, we'd walk around, Rachel would be holding him, and he just, you know, projectile vomit everywhere. And so he went through all these formulas. They found one formula, and you cannot find it anywhere. So when we find it, we bring it in, we pull it in, and we just go buy, you know, 2 or 3 cans. And because what's happening is when they run out, it's out. They cannot find. This dad called us one night, and it was urgent, because he said he has 1 bottle left, and we've been to 4 stores. Oh my! And so thank God we've had a couple of cans, but we just want to make sure that these babies are taken care of.
And what kind of formula is it?
Oh gosh, I know what it looks like. It's a silver can. It's like a DRHA or something like that. It's a specialized formula. He'd been through everything. So yeah. And so now he only throws up a little bit, and it doesn't go across the room. So, so we joke about it, but we brought Mama in and got her a car seat and gave him this car seat, and he's sitting there and he is smiling, and he's the happiest little thing. And he goes, "What?" And so when he did, I said, well, that's your car seat for sure, buddy. So, you know, but we love it. So car seats, I know Kiwanis sponsored car seats. The car seats that they sponsored were out within 2 months. So we have, I think we've given out probably, if I looked at the last statistic, it was over 20 car seats this year. Yeah. So, I mean, I look at statistics about every couple weeks or every, 2 months or something. It just depends on what we're looking at. But thousands of diapers have gone through our hands. And, I had a guy tell me one time, what are you doing with all those diapers? And I said, well, sir, I'm not wearing them. I'm not there yet. But we have a lot of diapers that go outside our doors. So,
well, and the bottom line is, guys, if you want to be a part of this, you absolutely financially reach out to them. You can be a diaper fairy, or you can just bless them with whatever you can contribute, and then they will be good stewards of it. And the fact people don't realize the tax exempt status. We'll do things at the Benevolence Center when I was working up there at the church, and they'll want to do a peanut butter drive or something like that. And I'm like, do you have any idea if you just give, our benevolence minister your cash, what he can get so much more peanut butter for $10 than you can. Yeah. And it people don't realize that. And it makes such a difference. Now, I did ask you about, do you still take in donations for
We do. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Okay. We do.
You have a donation box in the back, but what do you want put in there and what do you not want put in there?
Well,
I know that's an issue.
Household items that we've had, we've actually had some people rummaging and stealing from us.
We had somebody steal and then bring back
what
stuff
they didn't want.
So Yeah.
So, and we see it on cameras, it's just petty theft. But I'm just like, we
Yeah.
will give you anything you want.
Yeah.
I know.
But so we've bought a new bin. It's actually being manufactured, so it'll be one of those big metal bins that you can only put in, and we have to unlock it to get it out. But we can't accept used car seats and beds anymore. That's such a liability. So we don't do those. So we have to have all new basic baby equipment. But sometimes, I'll have somebody that says, hey, we took this out of the box. It wasn't the right color. Can we bring it? And the box is there. So we've been able to do that. Then we have grandparents that'll call us from time to time and have a crib that's never been slept in, and we know them, and we'll say, okay, but we can't use it. But, this person, somebody we know or something, we can always pass things along. But
then take it straight to them.
Or they can drop it off and then they can come pick it up. But we are really, we have to really watch what we take in. But we do clothes from preemie to size 5 toddler.
Okay.
And sometimes we have a sibling that needs, and we'll put a direct message out on Facebook or ask somebody. But we do a lot of maternity clothes, women's clothes. We have girls that are getting jobs that are right and left. And so we have a mama that has been in addiction for many, many years. And she's always been like a 0. And she's like a size 2 now. And she says that she's getting chunky. And I'm like, oh, girl, where is it? Because I want to know. Mm-hmm. But we literally have had to go buy. I went 2-3 weeks ago and bought her several outfits because we had somebody that gave me money and said, just go get her what she needs, because we had called, Family Resource Center is fantastic. We partner with them. Yeah. But, when they don't have or we don't have, we can share that, but we want to make sure we work with Laundry Love. So all these different wonderful agencies.
It's amazing.
But this young lady just didn't have the clothes. And so it was like, okay, so we went and got her a coat. She didn't have a coat. So, that's really important this time. And so we were able to, run over into our favorite place, which seems to be Walmart lately, and go Michael Taylor over there. But and so we'll go over there and grab some leggings and sweaters and a couple little things. And her kiddos needed some things, and so we were able to help some kids. But when you see that parent say just that hope that's restored and that relief from a box of food, it's very impactful. Our dad that says, man, I just don't have gas money this month. And so we were very careful with that. But sometimes, I'll call and say, hey, here's we can do, you can't get to your class, so we're going to give you a gift card, or we'll take a staff over and they'll swipe a gift card to give them, a tank of gas or $10 worth of gas or whatever. It's
just the real world, guys. And I love just hearing all about all the things and just checking in with you. I know Lee Marie is outside there. She's going to be knocking on the door to come on in here. We got Wild Doc coming in. Somebody else I love to. He's one of those cool people. We keep wanting him to move down here to Springfield. It was on. You've never met him, but he's a chiropractor up in Clarksville. He's my husband and I's chiropractor. I don't get up there very much, but my husband does. But he's an awesome guy and just a good Christian fellow. And you're going to be hearing from him in just a moment. He comes in on the first Friday of the month, so get ready to stick around for a special edition of the Go Show with the Wild Doc, Dr. Brown, and they'll be here in just a few minutes. But before we go, I've got to do our sponsor. I get to do sponsorship for Cumberland Connect. I just love them so much. They have been a game changer for so many people who do not have internet. Are you a Cumberland Connect person?
We have it now. So we're changing.
Are you in the gig club? Are you getting a gig? Like a lot of people are in the gig club.
We haven't yet, but we're going to.
It's so funny. So many of us, it's like $80 and you get a gig. I was paying it was like $60 something. My upload speeds or download speeds were like 1.3. It was awful. But it was, or no, that was actually Gwen's. Mine was in the 3s, but it was still terrible. Especially when I'm doing photography and videography and things. And I had to come up here and steal the internet from the radio station or from the church and do my work there, And so now I've had a gig for, it'll be, I guess it's coming up on a year. It'll be a year in the winter, but in January. And it is wonderful, but they're just about to get everybody connected. We tease Senator Kerry Roberts is going to be probably the very last one. So they didn't use any favoritism when they put it out there, because he was on the best served end. And so that's how they did it. They went with the underserved and kind of came in, but they're just about to get everybody connected. But we just want to constantly remind you that they've got packages to fit every need. You don't have to be in the gig club, but you can. Why not? $80. And I'm getting an extender put in mine to where I can get my barns fired up, because I need that out there with what I'm doing with photography. And It is just cool. Great customer service, great programs, and it is a utility. It has replaced our phone line, so there's an affordable connectivity program. If somebody's struggling financially, go and check it out and apply, because if you qualify, you could get a monthly credit to help pay for internet services of up to $30 per month. They have packages starting at $30 per month. That equates to free internet services for everybody. So if you're in the Cumberland Electric membership area, you've got to be a Cumberland Electric customer. You're going to have access to Cumberland Connect. Cannot say enough about it. Love these folks. Go to cumberlandconnect.org, cumberlandconnect.org, or call them at 1-800-987-2362, 1-800-987-2362, and see when they're going to be knocking on your door. You can join the Gig Club too. How do you want to wrap it up, guys? We've got just a few minutes here.
Let Rachel wrap it up.
Let's go, Rachel. What you got?
What's the impact that you feel like Open Doors given this year? Think about one client. Tell their story.
Am I allowed to tell their story?
Well, as long as you don't give names,
Yeah.
I would imagine. Yeah.
Oh man.
We've had several.
Let's see. I mean, the only one that's coming to mind is the one that you're talking about that we provided the clothes for. Her and her kids have just become such almost like family. And I guess what I was thinking of just before that last sponsor break was just that if anybody, any client, and it's not just, court ordered, it's anybody that just needs help, comes in and receives and embraces the program and what we have to offer, it's not going to feel like, I don't think it'll feel like a charity thing. I think if you were to ask this individual, she has found a support system, a safe place to go that her kids love coming to and look forward to seeing us and kind of become family. And it's, because like Shawn was saying, a lot of times people come and they're not happy to be there, at least my clients. They're not thrilled at all. And once they do what she does and they realize, okay, this is an incredible resource in this season of my life, I need it. And I try to tell people that, like, this is just a season and then you're going to be able to do that for somebody else. So I guess that's the best way I know how to put it. I don't know. I'm going to tell this one little piece. We had a gentleman that was court ordered to our services through a criminal matter. So it wasn't in juvenile court. And, through the process, last Christmas was our last Christmas visit Rachel and I did together. And the only thing that the little girl asked for was to see her daddy and the little boy. So when we went before the judge and Judge Goodman, I want to just, we have incredible judicial system here in Robertson County, but he, because we requested, and this gentleman had come so far and worked so hard, we requested to do a supervised visit with his kids at Christmas. And with the stroke of his pen, it changed that little girl's trajectory and her thought process. But when he walked out of the house, it was a surprise. And so Mom had brought the two little ones, and they were probably 8 and 10. The little girl started screaming, and you could just see her, and she was just shaking and crying. And the little boy gets out, and they're hugging, and the little boy goes, "I'm not crying. I'm a big boy. I'm tough." And he's crying. We're crying. The dad's crying, and the dad's down on his knees. And I have pictures of this. And this is what makes our job worth it. This is what makes our job worth it. When you see a little girl said, "My Christmas wish was answered," and she hugged us inside, and she said, "Thank you for letting me see my daddy today." And so that's what, at the end of the day, those are the stories that really impact us to say, let's keep going. Let's put one foot in front of the other on the hard days when we're literally trying to help someone just dig out of the trenches, because we're in the trenches and we're dirty. It's not clean down here. It's not fun. I had to sit down with somebody this year and say, hey, we're going to talk about bathing. You have to have those simple conversations with people. And they can receive it a lot better once we get those intimate relationships. But Rachel and I've had to sit there and say, hey, we got to talk about this because this is the issue, why you're here. You had environmental, and this is what's happening. And once it opens their mind up, at first they kind of get a little prickly, and then they go, wow, okay, you cared enough to make sure that I'm making these changes. Yeah. So that's our thing for Christmas this season. So I can't wait to see what our last visit of the year looks like.
Oh, I can't imagine. Anyway, love you guys. We could talk on and on and on, but it's our time is done, and I've got to go teach the kiddos who I love dearly. I love them dearly. Don't doubt that from my post I put last night. They're my heart. I love them. And I love you, sister.
Thank you.
Love you. Good to see you again. And anytime the door is open. Anything you need, anything I can possibly do,
Yep.
just let me know.
Amen.
Thank you guys for being a part of this wonderful Faith Friday. What a wonderful way to close out the week. Be sure and join us on Monday for One Street Over, but stay tuned for the Go Show. Doc Brown's here, the Wild Doc from Wild Roots up in Clarksville, my chiropractor. I know you need to see me more, Doc. He's going to fuss at me. But anyway, we love him, and you're going to enjoy hearing from him on the Go Show. Stay tuned. God bless. This is 1100 WSGI.